Hello everybody, my name is Olivier Mankondo, and today I'm going to talk to you about the adverse effect of a meat-based diet on the human consciousness. What you have to understand is that we human beings are not just physical beings. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So we should really pay more attention to our spiritual aspect. In the world, people eat differently, but let's have a look at the major categories. First of all, we have the meat eaters. These are the people who eat all kinds of meat and meat products, and dairy products as well. And then you've got the vegetarians. And in this category, we've got different types of vegetarians. First of all, we've got the lacto-ovo vegetarian. They don't eat meat, poultry, seafood, or any meat product, but they will eat eggs and dairy products. We have the lacto-vegetarian. They are exactly as the lacto-ovo vegetarians, but the only exception is that they don't consume eggs. And then we've got the pescatarians. They eat a vegetarian diet, but they also eat fish and seafood. And many pescatarians also eat dairy and eggs. And then we've got the vegans. They don't eat no animal or animal product, no dairy product or eggs. And finally, you've got the raw vegans. Same as vegans, but they don't consume cooked food. Now let's have a look at how these foods are divided on the spiritual level. We have, first of all, the sentient food. These foods are good for the body and mind. In this category, we've got fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds. And then we've got the mutated foods. This food creates restlessness. It can be good for the body, but may or may not be good for the mind. These include tea, coffee, chocolate, carbonated drinks, and certain strong spices. And then you've got the static food. These foods are not good for the mind, but may or may not be good for the body. This food brings static flow in the mind, laziness, and may activate lower instinct. In this category, you've got meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and most processed food. Now let's see how these foods are digested and how long they take inside the human body. In layman terms, this is how the digestion is done. When you put the food in your mouth and you start chewing, your body will produce an enzyme called taline, which will enable the digestive process to start in the mouth region. When the food has been chewed up into a liquid state, it is swallowed and goes down into the stomach. The stomach will produce some gastric acid to digest all these foods. When the digestion is done, the food will leave the stomach and go into the small intestine. In the small intestine, you have hair-like stuff called villi, which will absorb the necessary nutrient into the blood. And what is not necessary for the body will make its way into the colon, ready to be expelled. But to be able to know how long this food takes into the human system, we're going to have a look at the bowel transit time. The bowel transit time is the time that certain type of food takes to pass through our system. For example, if we eat fruit, it takes 3 to 4 hours to pass through our system. If we eat raw vegetables, it takes around 12 hours to pass through our system. If we eat cooked vegetables, it takes between 24 and 30 hours to pass through our system. But if we eat meat, fish or chicken, it takes 72 hours or 3 days to pass through our system. So meat passes through the system very slowly. That's why carnivores have got shorter intestines. Fruit and vegetables pass through the system very quickly. That's why human beings and herbivores have got longer intestines. So you can understand that the food is the building material for this body, and we have to pay attention to these building materials. When we build a house, the design can be great, but what is more important is the building material. The building material that we use to build our bodies makes a world of difference. Most people eat the way they've been taught by their culture, but surely you need to know what goes into your system. If you put food in your system, it happens one way. But if you eat consciously, it happens another way. Bringing awareness in all parts of your life, and especially eating, is extremely important. If you want to live your life at the highest level, then what you eat becomes very, very important. The human body is the most sophisticated machine on the planet. And you need to give it the fuel it was designed for if you want it to work in an optimal way. When you eat some food, you need to make sure that this food has less information to process. For example, the human body has got an enormous amount of memory in the cells. So the more evolved a creature has become, the more memory its cells possess, and the more difficult it's going to be for the body to make it part of itself. If you eat an animal which has got desires and emotions, your body will have to produce too much energy to try and make part of itself. When you look at animals, their cells are saturated with passion and desires. So by eating those animals, you will have to spend too much energy trying to assimilate that food, and it's never assimilated completely. So when you eat a meat-based diet, you will tend to eat a lot and more frequently. So this internal battle where your body is trying to make the cells of the animal you've just eaten part of itself, will create a greater wear and tear of your body. And you're going to be less active and less enduring compared to someone on a vegan diet. Food is not just nourishment. Food is vibration. It's energy. You need to avoid consuming food that has got violence in it. When you eat meat, okay, what are the emotions these animals have been through when they were in the slaughterhouse? It's hatred, anger, resentment, fear, helplessness for many days, and then violence and death. And this meat will come into your plate. This negative energy doesn't die, but stays in the cells of these dead animals and get transferred to the persons who will eat those animals. When we eat those animals, they contribute to the darkness of the soul. We need to eat what is as simple life as possible, which has got less thought and emotions. In the vegetable kingdom, the fruits, the veg, have got no desire or emotions. So it's going to be really easy for the human mechanism to make this food part of itself. If you eat the food that can integrate your body easily, you will see that the amount of sleep that you require will come down, and you will not have to eat as much because the nutrient forming those food will tend to stay longer in your body. So with a very complex system like the human mechanism, the food that we eat will have an impact in our character, the way we think, and spiritually as well. When you eat a meat-based diet, the nature of these animals will start manifesting in us. Before these animals are slaughtered, they live in fear for a very long period of time. And as you can see, the majority of mankind live in fear. Carnivorous animals are very ferocious, and you will see this quality in a lot of human beings. So meat increases anger, laziness, darkness that envelop our souls. You need to live and let live. And it is said, you shall not kill. What right have we got to kill even the simpler life? Sometimes people will say that you are destroying life by eating fruit as well. But you have to understand that when the fruit is ripe, it has accomplished its purpose, which is to serve as food for some animals and for humans. If you don't eat them, they are lost. Every cell in our body is programmed for health, and 70% of all diseases in the world are chronic, which means that they are self-inflicted. They are manufactured from within. You don't have to make your stomach the graveyard of animals. What you eat, your body and mind will be made of it. Even in the early Christians were vegetarian, but in the Roman Empire they were tortured and killed because they didn't want to eat meat. And you will see that a lot of spiritual teachers have gravitated toward being vegetarian, such as Jesus, Buddha, and a lot of yogis. And people like Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, Plato, Socrates, Gandhi, all of them were vegetarians. So people on a plant-based diet are generally more considerate, more compassionate than the meat eater. The sentient food will increase your desire to meditate, will open up your appreciation for subtle music, art, subtle dance, and you will start feeling the joy of how food properly selected will enhance your outlook in life, and your spiritual and mental development will be greater. With that being said, I will stop my video here. Until next time, take care of yourself and bye-bye. Okay, in this channel I talk about health. If you want to increase your level of health so that you can have a strong and healthy immune system, You can check out my free guide, How to Strengthen Your Immune System by Adopting a Plant-Based Diet. I'll put a link in the description so you can download that for free. You can go on my website as well, which is oliviermankondo.com, and check out my weight loss and wellness program, where I teach people how to lose weight and maintain their optimal weight just by eating a plant-based nutrition. As you can see, this is me in 2016, and today I'm 35 kilos or 5.5 stone lighter, and I'll be able to show you how I've lost that amount of weight in just 9 months. And while you're still on my website, you can check out my latest book, The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life. This book is the answer to all your worries. You will learn how to lose weight just by eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. You will discover as well why we become ill and what to do to live a disease-free life. The book is available on Amazon. Thank you very much. Thank you.